Hello, my name is Lydia. I am a registered nurse and have been a registered nurse for the past 16 years. As of December of last year, I decided to start my own medical spa. We're gonna start the video today with 10 things that you should consider if you're deciding to open a medical spa in Ontario. I jotted down some notes, so I'll be looking down a little bit just so I don't miss anything. The first thing you need to do, you need to figure out if this is something that you really want to do, that you're really interested in, because it's not easy. I wouldn't recommend you doing it unless you are sure that this is something that you're really passionate about. Okay, so you need to make sure, go to different spas. I don't know if you frequent spas already and see how they run. Ask the nurse injector, ask them some questions and see who's willing to give you some explanations. Watch a few videos on YouTube just so you know what's entailed and what to expect. Because I know when I first started as a nurse, we did a lot of rounds in different nursing areas, nursing specialties, but aesthetics is a completely different ballgame. So it's something that you really need to look into and really make sure that this is something that you want to do before you start. The second thing I would say, to learn the laws of your province. Now in Canada, I know in general, whether you are an RPN and RN, you are allowed to inject. It's a little different in the States. You still need to check to see, just to double check, because sometimes, laws change all the time. And if you're not up to date, making sure that you are checking, that can potentially become a problem for you. So I would say go on the website, check for your province, and see what your scope of practice is as a registered nurse or as a RPN. Okay. The third thing you need to consider, really, I would say that's one of the most important things that was on my list, is training. Now, for the most part, a lot of the aesthetic courses, they're about 2 days. 2 days, not so bad, right? For a basic course. However, I felt that because I'm opening my own practice, basically I wouldn't have any doctors there monitoring me or other nurses for me to turn to. I'm basically going to be doing this on my own. So I really felt that I needed to be trained. 2 days was not enough for me. So I didn't end up going to a school, and I did the 2-day basics. After I left, I got out of there, I was more confused than anything. I was more scared than anything, because this is people's faces we're touching. And you want to make sure that you learn the craft very, very well. Okay. There are a lot of things that can happen. I'm not saying to scare anyone. However, if you take the time and get trained properly, you should be fine. So after I went to this first school after 2 days, and I really felt confused, and I just didn't feel I was ready to start injecting. So I decided to look for a school, to look for more information. I ended up finding a school that, oh, thank God, that actually train you, but not only train you, but they also offer unlimited practices for 6 months. Okay. And that's what you need. You can read the material, pass the exam. That's not an issue, but it's the practice, getting out there, injecting people and knowing what it's like, learning from different people. I'm so blessed that through the school, I met a lot of other nurses, doctors, and they were so helpful, very knowledgeable. They do teach worldwide, so that's not an issue. You can book online and do your courses online, and then go do your hands-on in the different cities, because they do have stations in different cities. So if it's something that you're interested in, just comment down below and I will let you know what school it is. So once you get your training down packed, now the other thing that you need to consider is location. Depending on where you live, you need to know your surroundings. You need to know what your competitions are, how many other spas are there. Competition, yes, but at the same time, one spa cannot treat every patient. Okay. And what I mean by that, people's personalities are different. One may be going to the spa and they don't get along with this person, but they come to yours, they love you, or it could be vice versa. So I'm not afraid of any competition. The only thing you need to make sure is that you need to have something unique that makes you stand out from the others. Okay. So that you need to think about what you're going to do or what services you're going to offer, or what services that you're gonna learn and be the best at it in your area to ensure that, you know what, if I need to get lip fillers, I'm going to go to Drip and Luxe. I'm gonna see Lydia, okay, because she has mastered that. Or if you mastered maybe under eye darkness, whatever it is that you're passionate about in terms of within aesthetics, make sure you are the best at it so that everybody knows in the area. But you do need to find this the area that you want. It needs to be somewhere that's easily accessible. Parking is a big deal. It's a big deal, especially if you're in the city somewhere and people have to park and pay and things like that. It's a big deal. Number 5, figure out the name of your business. Now that's the fun part. You get to play around with it, find something that's fun, that represents your personality. I think that was the most fun process for me. And yeah, I came up with the name. The name of my spa is Drip and Luxe, like dripping in luxury. I wanted my spa to feel like the minute you enter, to feel like you're entering a luxurious place and it's nice, clean, that it speaks its name. So that was a fun process for me. I totally enjoyed it. And then once you come up with the name, then you start looking at different types of logos or how you want your logo to be and things like that. So all these are the fun parts. So you figured out the name. The next thing you need to think about is registering your business. Now you can do it yourself. I chose not to do it myself because I wanted to make sure that it's done properly, but a lot of people do it themselves. So I actually paid my accountant to register my business, and I do recommend that you register it as a corporation to protect your personal assets. If anything happens, anything wrong, it goes wrong, you want to be able to protect your asset in case somebody decides to sue you. Now, which brings me to the next step, insurance. You need to have insurance. You need to start shopping around for insurance early. Depending on the services that you're offering, there are very limited insurance companies who are willing to take on that task. There are a few around, but it's not as easy to find a good one that covers everything that you need covered. So you need to start shopping around early. Once you come up with your name, you registered your business, we talked about finding a location. Now in that location, you need to find a spot. You need to decide if you're going to be starting at home, if you're going to be renting a room, say in a salon or some sort, if you're going to be renting a space that, a bigger space that allows you to have multiple rooms so you can have your multiple treatments, or you can choose to purchase a unit. Now, for me, we decided to purchase a unit because when we were shopping around, the prices that they were asking, it was ridiculous. So we decided it would be in our best interest to just purchase our own unit. It worked out better for us in that sense. But I must say, it's not easy to find. We kind of got lucky with the spot that we got. And I'm so grateful for that. But in the market today in Toronto, the GTA, everything is going up, including commercial units. They're not easy to find. They're not easy to come by. But thank God, at the right time that we were looking, and we're so grateful for that. And so we got our unit. And it's the perfect spot, I think. Now that you've got the unit or you've got the space, you decided where you're going to be. If you're going to be at home or you're renting a room, it's a little easier because all you have to do, maybe throw on some paint, and then decorate it nicely however you want your space to look, and then you're good to go. However, if you are renting a bigger space that requires renovation, or you did purchase your unit and that requires renovation, in my case, we had to gut the place down and start from scratch. We had to get a designer, an architect, and all that cost a lot of money. It cost us a lot of money. Now, what you need to consider, if you are renting the space, do you want to spend $50,000 to $100,000 in fixing a spot you're not sure you're going to be in for a long period of time? For us, because we did purchase our spot, so we had to gut the place because the place we got, it was an office, a real estate office. So it was nothing medical. So we had no choice. And when I tell you, that's why I said you need to make sure that this is something that you actually want to do, because the amount of money that you're going to end up spending or that may come up that you didn't even account for, You have to be willing, okay? So make sure it's something that you want to do. Now we got to go for permits, okay? And that's another loophole that we have to jump through, because the city, sometimes they take their sweet time. Then they would come back and ask you questions about different things, like the size of the doors for wheelchair accessibility, things like that. The size of the sinks, like a bunch of stuff. Whatever it was, we just complied because it was easier to comply with them than for us to fight them, because we just wanted the permits, okay? Mind you, we had to go through this process twice, and every time we had to pay a fee. Eventually, we got our permits. I'm grateful, happy we got the permits, so we are going through the process. The last thing that you have to think about is really public health. So while the renovations are going on, you need to go on public health website to see what the requirements are for medical facilities, okay? It's a little different for other facilities. What I learned from the website, number one, you need to do with COVID and everything right now, you need to make sure that you have a good protocol for infection control. Make sure that you are complying. So while you're waiting for your permits, go online, check out public health, make sure that you are complying with code, because once everything is built, they have to come in and do an assessment to make sure that you are up to code, that you pass. And if you don't pass, you can't open. So you need to know all that information while your renovations are going on, so that you know what's expected. I am going to put up a video about the process. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I'll leave the link below. I hope you like the topic, and follow me for more. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. That way when I upload another video, you will know.